Hey everybody, my name is Gino Cabigo, and on behalf of Common Ground and Culture Co., we're here to discuss 5 ways to engage with your employees here in the Philippines. Just to give you a background about myself, when I moved here, I work for a company called Taskus, and being part of the HR and culture teams, I was able to really see how different employees, different departments got to engage with the company, and I'm here to share with you 5 tips that I found out to work best when it comes to engaging with the employees. So before we get to that, let's discuss what shouldn't be done. For those of you who are aware of the 90 Day Fiancé show that's been trending, whether it's on Facebook or on TV, there's a couple by the name of Ed and Rose that actually filmed over here in the Philippines. And if you watched it, or if you do decide to watch it, better keep away from some of the practices that Ed did here in the Philippines, just for the sake that it did cause some turbulence when it comes to different cultures, and that's what you want to stray away from. Try to stray away from anything that could sort of give the impression that you're not willing to invest in the culture here in the Philippines. So, pushing that aside, let's get to it. Let's get to those 5 tips right now. All right, so tip number 1, engage your employees through food. Not just any ordinary food, but Filipino food, such as Jerry's Grill, if you have over here, or instant pancit canton, or for healthier food options, you got raw calamansi that you can use. So when you engage with your team members with food, whether it's through one-on-ones, through FGDs, through town halls, or even through Zoom calls where you can order something like Jerry's delivered there and really get the mood set by creating a happy experience. So get engaged with food, get to know the food, get to know the adobos, the kare-kare, the adobos, the lumpia, the fish balls, kwek-kwek, Adidas, all those type of food products here you can find in the Philippines, the delicious foods. Get familiar with them. If you're in leadership, or if you want for an engagement when it comes to something online, I attended a Facebook webinar actually, and they said that Mark Zuckerberg actually cooks the food and showcases it to the team. So this is something that you can do, whether you want to at least attempt to try to cook Filipino food, do it virtually online and showcase it to your team and really bring them together and build that trust and engage with them through food. Tip number 2. So if you have an important announcement, you have something that you have an update with the company or such, you have to know which platform to use to communicate to your team members. So if they're not on site, you may have to use a digital way to communicate. So we may be familiar with Slack, WhatsApp, Viber, Facebook Messenger, Microsoft Teams. We have so much digital platforms available to us, but in the Philippines, I found out that there are 2 useful ones that seem to benefit communications between you and the teams better. And the 2 platforms are Viber and Facebook Messenger to communicate. These platforms seem to be more readily available for your teams, so if you're trying to reach out to a wider array in a quick amount of time, that's something more familiar to them, I would suggest using Viber and Facebook Messenger. Tip number 3. Here's a fun fact. For those of you who are not familiar yet, the Philippines is said to be the selfie capital of the world. So where do these selfies go? Most likely on social media platforms, Facebook and Instagram. So get to know these platforms and get involved with your team members, your employees, engage with them through these platforms. What I would recommend, it's not only just scrolling and just like putting some content with some words out there, but actually tagging them. Tagging your employees and let them get involved in that sense, whether it's through liking, whether it's through commenting, whether it's through sharing, but tagging them on these posts and engaging in that sense, it's helpful and crucial to really get your employees involved. Another thing is create recognition programs, whether it's a certificate or something that they can showcase, a group selfie pic, an individual selfie pic, to showcase some sort of recognition that they can show off to their family, their friends, their other colleagues. So get involved in the social media platforms. Tip number 4, the small talk. Small talk counts for a lot when it comes to engagement with your employees. Whether if you're on site, just when you get your cup of coffee, seeing how their day was, seeing what's their, if they watched the new Netflix show, the new Netflix series, and creating this small talk where it doesn't really focus on work deliverables itself, but just something that could be trending or such. For those of you offsite, a quick DM, quick Viber message, quick Facebook Messenger message, you just say, hey, I saw your post. I wanted to know the ingredients on that dish that you cooked. Things of that nature, the small talk does count when it comes to employee engagement. So make it work for you. All right, my fifth and final tip for you when it comes to engaging with your team members, with your employees here in the Philippines is knowing the Filipino language. It could be, and it most likely is Tagalog. Of course, depending on which province you're at, it could be a different dialect. But pick up a book, watch a teleserye, a Filipino book, or a Filipino teleserye, and get to know Tagalog. Dapat marunong kayong Tagalog, even if it's konti lang. So get to know Tagalog, get to know the Filipino language, because it can help with the communication barriers, if any, with certain team members who may feel more comfortable or can showcase their point more so in Tagalog or the Filipino language. There are some words that they use here in the Philippines in language that can't simply be translated to the language that you may be accustomed to using. So having that working knowledge of the Filipino language can help you engage with your team members better. So I encourage you all to check out Filipino movies, Tagalog teleseries, Tagalog books, and learn that Tagalog even konti lang. So I hope these 5 tips really helps you out. They're fun ways to really not only engage with your employees, but to also learn about the Filipino culture. So I just wanted to recap what they were. Once again, it's food, it's knowing the communication platforms, it's a social media aspect, it's a small chat, and it's your Tagalog. So hopefully this helps out. I wish you all a safe and healthy day ahead. And till next time, thanks.